I don't know if you noticed, but every element of today, every word that has been spoken from the platform here, every reaction from the community here and online has moved us towards the truth that within us there is a calling placed on our soul, on our heart, and we are called to reveal, to stand up for that truth. Yes, that is what we're called for. And every element of today has moved us into the direction. So I feel like I have very little to do, you know? I'm just going to share a couple words, and then we're all going to feel this call. I went back a little bit because I want to give it words. What is that? That is this call that when we live in alignment with it, when we give it voice, when we stand up for it, we live out and loud. What is that? And I went back, and Plato, you know, he called this ideal forms. He said truth, love, beauty, and goodness. Those are ideal forms, and they are expressed beautifully in nature, and they are expressed beautifully by beloveds. And it's almost like our human beingness cannot hold all the goodness. It is pouring out of us when we are in alignment with that. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, called these divine ideas. And he said, and I believe we have a quote for this, he said, "We must know that the doorway of opportunity is never closed. We are always receptive to the divine ideas. It is never too late for us to manifest opportunity. It is never withheld from us for a single moment. There's no sense of limitation or restricted opportunity." Never, ever. If you think about our teaching symbol, up there it is the circle. The infinite possibility is in the very top. It is all around us. And I don't know about you, but I really have a feeling that we are tapping into it more and more. And I see the responsibility of New Vision Center to create opportunities for healing of perhaps wounds that can get in the way, and also to bring forth opportunities to remember. And so I came up with this formula that I want to share with you. And it goes like this. Identify your core value. That is what I'm going to call that, your core value, that calling, that virtue, that when you are in alignment with it, when we are in alignment with it, it pours out of us. We can't help it. And then we are invited to embody it with boldness, to take a stand for it, to stand up for it, just like that song said. To uphold it with resilience, because I don't know about you, but life has a tendency to say, oh, that's your core value? How are you going to apply it in this situation? How are you going to be wisdom, loving kindness, creativity, joy in this situation? And then finally, all of that helps us to change our world. And so I wanted to take a moment for all of us to perhaps find something beautiful to let your eyes rest on, or allow your eyes to close, and just present this question to you. What is my core value? What is it that I am called to be, to emanate in the world? What is it that I am here to reveal? And I invite you to hold on to that. It might be something that can be under the umbrella of integrity or courage, gratitude, compassion, wisdom, freedom. You know, I was thinking about with our 7 new practitioners, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when they did the work of really uncovering what is it that calls me forward to be a practitioner in this world. I don't know, but I'm imagining some experience the call to share wisdom, perhaps to reveal more of who they are, to be a loving force in the world. Some of you might have noticed when you walked into this sanctuary that there is a drop cloth over there on the wall. For those of you online, rest assured you're going to be part of this big reveal too. There's a story that goes with this. Several months ago, a beloved couple came forward and said they would really like to see different faith traditions represented in our beautiful sanctuary. Those of you who have been with New Vision Center for a long time remember we used to have them embroidered and we did different things with them. And with all the remodeling, they weren't presented anymore. They weren't present here in the sanctuary anymore. And so that beloved couple who wants to remain unnamed, so I'm not going to call them out, but they came to me and they said they wanted to find a way to do that. They had this wall envisioned for that, and they were willing to go ahead and pay for whatever it would take to create that, which that is taking a stand for something, isn't it? Yes? I want to see something in the world. I am going not the direction of complaining or judging. No, I'm going to take a stand and say, this is what I would like, and here's how I want to be part of bringing it forth. Beautiful example. And so we had all of that, and then we had to find somebody who would be willing and able to build this beautiful wall 14 feet high. And Tom Finn, one of his core values is service, to make things more beautiful for all of us. So I'm going to bring him up so he can get acknowledged. Tom Finn. There you go. So we had the structure, and now we needed the symbols, right? And I remembered, those of you who have been over to Creative Living Fellowship, when they had their community over on 7th Street, they had these beautiful symbols on their platform, and there is a picture of it. Yes, there's a picture of it. And so, how nothing happens in a vacuum. I reached out to Reverend Michelle, and I actually asked her to be here, and she said yes, and she's going to say a couple words. Yes? Yes. Yes.
I didn't expect that picture, so that got me started already. And so you didn't tell me how long I have, Reverend Karen, so I'm thinking like 25 minutes? Is that about right? Okay, approximately. Perfect. as I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you, I won't take 25 minutes, by the way, I promise. Just 20. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you, lyrics of a song kept coming into my mind, and I'm not a singer, so I won't sing them. You might recognize them because they're written by, and often sung here by beautiful Cerise Patron. And it started with a thought that turned into a dream, the fire burning in the soul of a single human being. Every dream that's lived is a dream come true. Stand up for your dreams, to thine own self be true. Cerise walked in the doors of Creative Living Fellowship 30 years ago, and that was one of the first songs she ever wrote. And I think about the idea that you have started today of the decision. Every decision starts with a thought, right? That wall started with a thought, and I want to take you back just a little bit farther than Reverend Karen took you to say that at Creative Living Fellowship, which was a religious science church in Central Phoenix, many of you sitting here were part of that community, so hi guys, good to see you here. We had a beautiful soul who, every time we had a special service, he would design our stage to make it beautiful. And one Easter, he just thought, we need sacred symbols. And so he hand drew sacred symbols on paper, mounted them on cardboard, I think, and temporarily put them on the stage. And that man is here today, and I want to acknowledge Rick Hindle. Stand up, Rick, you're right over there. Stand up. There he is. These symbols that are now on your wall started with his thought. Full circle. And so they were just supposed to be temporary. They were just temporarily made, but we all loved them, and we want to keep them. And then years passed, and at one point I had another thought, like maybe we ought to make them into something more permanent than pieces of paper. And that's when my beloved Lonnie Whittington, I leaned to my friend Karen a minute ago, I said, Tom is Karen's Lonnie. Right, so my beloved husband Lonnie, who was very creative and had a heart of service as well, supported us. He didn't make the symbols, but he didn't make the metal piece of the symbols, which you'll see what that means in a minute. But he made everything else. He did everything else, and he mounted them, and they were on our sanctuary wall until that church building sold. And this year, that church dissolved, and I asked if I could have the symbols, because they meant so much to me. I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with them. I don't have a church anymore. I don't really need them in my home. I have an office, but it's not a religious office, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I want them. And they were in my garage. And it's starting to get warm. You know, it gets a little hot here in Phoenix, and the garage gets really hot. And I thought, another thought, these can't stay here. And a thought, there's another song entitled Our Thoughts Are Prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Our thoughts are prayers. And so I had a thought that was really a prayer. And it went like this. It wasn't a spiritual mind treatment, just so you know. I do those. They're good. But this one wasn't. This one we just got, oh God. Literally, oh God, what are we going to do with these symbols? Something needs to happen with these symbols. They shouldn't just be in my garage, and they're going to warp. And it wasn't 2 days after I asked that question that your Reverend Karen called me. See, let's just see how that unfolds, right? And I loved her question when she told me what you guys wanted to do, and her question was, where did you get the symbols? Where did you buy the symbols? I went, well, guess what? We didn't buy them. We made them. And they're sitting right now in my garage. And then she and I both had a few tears even at that moment. But then I had a massive wave of grief flood my very being. And I said, Reverend Karen, I can't offer these to you right now. Give me a minute. So we hung up, and she said, take whatever time you need. And I had this grief of, my husband passed away 7 years ago. Many of you know that, but perhaps all of you don't. I had another layer of grief of his being gone and how he made these symbols, and a layer of grief that Creative Living Fellowship is gone. Even though I know I had a hand in that by leaving 7.5 years ago, but nonetheless, it was now dissolved. And so my heart just ached for both of those things. And giving the symbols away felt like a another ending, another completion, and I had to feel that. And the only reason I'm telling you this is not, oh, poor Michelle, it's not for that. It's to just say that this life of creation, thought becoming a thing, becoming a wall like that, a wall like that, it's not always smooth. And there are things that come up. And every one of us has had some loss, something we grieve, and that's maybe it's going to pop up at times you don't expect. My reason for telling you this is to say it's okay. It's okay to let yourself feel, to go into the heart, to have some tears, to cry ugly cry. I cried ugly cry for about an hour. But it is also not okay to go down the rabbit hole. It doesn't serve. It's not that it's not okay. It just doesn't serve. So we don't want to spiritually bypass. We want to feel our feelings, but then don't stay there. And so about it, because actually when you let yourself feel your feelings, they do then dissipate. So in an hour or so, I called Reverend Karen and said, with the breath, okay, I'm ready. They're yours. So we have come full circle. Here we are this morning. The thought turned into a dream. The fire that burned in the soul of many human beings now sits on that wall, and it is a reminder of our oneness, and I am so grateful to you because it is also a legacy. It is a legacy of my beloved Lonnie, and it is a legacy of Creative Living Fellowship. It lives on.
Yes.
And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So I'm going to take that from you.
Yes.
There are fresh tissues right over here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And so we have this beautiful plaque that will be on the wall afterwards. But I feel like we're ready. Do you feel ready? We're all ready? So if you want to turn your attention here in the sanctuary, you can turn your attention to the south wall. Online, you are seeing it live. And let us reveal the beautiful collaboration of a oneness wall. Oh, we need drums. Oh, we don't have drums. Okay, everybody make drums. Yay! Yeah. So yes, you probably noticed there's a space in the center, yes. That is going to have the Science of Mind teaching symbol in there, and which was, of course, supposed to be there, and it's going to arrive next week sometime. So that's just how that works. So it can be messy. Thank you so much, Reverend Michelle. Let's all take a collective breath. Notice how all this goodness that is taking place here, that is being celebrated here, all started with an idea, all started with beloveds saying yes to that call that was placed upon their hearts. And it feels to me like what we want to do now is to take it into prayer. This beautiful spiritual mind treatment that allows us to live out whatever has been placed on your heart, to reveal peace, love, freedom, joy, creativity, beauty in the world. And so I invite you to allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. As we go within and we recognize that there's truly only one power, one presence, the allness of life. As we recognize that who we are is made of the same beautiful vibration that the sky and the stars and the plants and the flowers, and each beloved is made of. There's no separation. And so as we lean into this place of the Most High at the very center of our being, we recognize that we are called forth to blossom. That which has been placed upon our heart is called forth to be revealed in the world. Like a flower is being called to open up and share its beauty. And so I speak a word of exactly that. That all beloveds, near and far, everyone who has placed a prayer request into the New Vision Center prayer ministry is connecting with what it takes for them to blossom, to open up, to bring forth the good, to share it, to live it out loud. How grateful I am, how grateful I am to know that all of the tools, all of the ways to go about to bring this forth are readily available. And I take a stand for every beloved who is seeking to find the answer. And so it is with a grateful heart, with so much love, that I simply call this good and very good. We let it be. And so it is.